When the vape clouds rolled in, many hailed the ciggy alternative as a big step toward a smoke-free Aotearoa. The future looked bright. The reality is a little foggy. While the number of people who smoke drops every year, vaping is on the rise. Right now, around 8% of Kiwi adults can't do without their daily puff, nearly 80,000 more vapers than last year. And that doesn't count the under 18s. Principals say vaping in schools has become an epidemic, not just among teens.
Little guys, the 6, 7-year-olds are turning up.
And they're learning a lesson in underground economics as well.
A lot of the high school students will be running little side hustles where they're basically selling vapes and contents to our younger students.
Schools want tougher restrictions, pointing to Australia's new laws making vape products prescription only. Smoke-free advocates say that won't work, also pointing to Australia where it hasn't seemed to work.
There are 14% youth vaping, so it's not necessarily stop young people accessing vapes.
Well, Kelly Burrows has been researching vaping for the last few years, and she's putting together some great resources for parents to use. So, Kelly, let me start by asking, kids under 10 honestly vaping?
Yeah, it sounds like that. So I don't know the numbers for under 10-year-olds, but I was recently contacted by someone looking for advice around helping 8 to 11-year-olds to get off nicotine. So they were already addicted due to vaping.
Oof. It's so incredibly sad. Should parents be worried about their primary and intermediate aged kids?
I think so. So I'm a parent. I've got 3 primary aged kids, and I think the uptake is been very high with school-aged children. So I was looking at the year 10 figures. So those are 14-year-olds children. So there's about 10% of them are saying that they're vaping daily. And I think it's something to worry about.
So what is a 14-year-old inhaling when they take a puff from a vape?
So in the e-liquid itself, so you have in an e-cigarette, you have the e-liquid, which has got propylene glycol, vegetable glycerol, nicotine and flavourings. So when that heats up, you can get some different chemicals being created, and you can get some metals coming off that heating coil. But one thing as well is around the flavourings. So nobody has really tested the safety of inhaling those flavouring compounds.
Where are kids seeing people vape? Like in the 1950s, every cowboy and cool guy in movies and TV was smoking, and that kind of kick-started that generation. But like, where are kids seeing people vaping?
So actually, I'm at the Auckland Bioengineering Institute, and we recently had a showcase down at the Cloud at the waterfront, and I talked to a lot of school children there, and all of them said that the kids are vaping in the bathrooms in between classes and lunchtime. And I think one of the ways it's easier for them to get away with it is because there's not much smell associated with it. So if you had a cigarette, someone would be able to smell it on your clothes or in the bathroom, but not so with vaping.
And Kelly, to be clear, you're not so concerned about adults deciding to use vapes. It's more kids that you're focused on, right?
Yes, exactly. So I think there's definitely a place for vaping, and so that what we know at the moment is that vaping is or should be safer than smoking. So I think it would be a good idea for smokers to switch to vaping. But I think, even adults, but mostly children, if you're not already a smoker, I think it's, not a great idea to start vaping.
Some people might be watching and wondering, if you're a parent, just tell your kids not to vape. Just have a rule, no vaping. Is it that simple?
Yes, well, so actually that's one of the reasons I started this sort of social media platform, to try and put some educational material up there so that parents could understand a bit more about it. A lot of parents think that vaping is harmless, so they might buy vapes for their kids or know that their kids are vaping, but they think that it's not going to have any negative effects. So that might be one reason why a lot of kids are, able to vape, but wow. I'm not sure.
Well, Kelly, it's great work you're doing. Thanks for chatting.
Thanks for having me on.
Well, kia ora, welcome along to Project Lift. Paul Smith is with us tonight. And Guy Williams.
And I'm like shocked by this because like, I remember 10 to 15 years ago, we had, you know, Nesian Mystic and Dane Rumble on TV saying don't smoke.
Yeah.
And it felt like it was actually working and smoking rates were plummeting, it was disappearing. And now vaping has just come out of nowhere and just slapped us in the face. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
I did one of those ads in 2006. I'm more than happy to get the hat on and tilt a little bit sideways and have a backpack on and telling people that vaping's not my future.
What's gone wrong, do you reckon? Like, we just got rid of smoking and suddenly vaping seems to have taken its place.
It's kind of like when they introduced rabbits here, so people had something to hunt, and then they're like, there's too many of them. However are we going to take care of this problem? Have you guys heard of stoats and weasels? And it seems like vaping might be the stoats and weasels to the smoking rabbit.
It's crazy. Big tobacco is back. Kano, are you okay over there? You're having a mare.
Seriously, after we've done a vaping story, I've just got a cough in me that I can't get rid of. I've been off sick for a couple of days and then bang on 7 p.m. I'm like, oh, I'll bring this cough back.
I've got a couple of things to say while you recover, which is if you want to follow Kelly online, I mean, she's a proper academic scientist. She's put all this stuff on Instagram and Facebook so parents can ask her questions and find out plain language answers. Science of Vaping is the name of her Instagram account and her Facebook page, Science of Vaping. Look it up, join and ask her what you want to ask her.